Today we're going to be talking about a potential draft prospect that might actually have the potential to be might go into the top 5. I'm not joking, like there is a scenario that this guy comes into the top 5 and I've seen him projected in the low 20s. And that is Kel'el Ware. Before you don't, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We're trying to hit 5,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And if we could hit that, that'd be absolutely incredible. We upload more basketball content in here than anywhere else. But anyway, now let's get on to the video. So, the number 1 pick in the NBA draft is likely going to be Alex Sarr. And why is Alex Sarr going to be the number 1 overall pick? Because Alex Sarr is athletic. He's 6'11 and 3/4 without shoes. He is a 37-inch vertical. He blocks around a shot and a half a game. He's going to be a decent rim protector. He runs relatively fast for a big man. He can jump. They think he's going to be able to shoot the ball. And he's got long arms. What if I told you there was a guy in the draft? Obviously, I've mentioned his name already. But what if I told you Kel'el Ware is the exact same height as Alex Sarr? The exact same. What if I told you Kel'el Ware has a longer wingspan than Alex Sarr and a higher standing reach? So, means Sarr's neck is just longer, which doesn't really matter for basketball. He has a higher standing reach, only 1 inch shorter in vertical, but standing vertical, which is as important, if not more important than moving vertical, standing vertical reach 3 inches bigger than Alex Sarr. So on every measurable, Kel'el Ware is as good, if not better, than Alex Sarr. So if we just want to look at physical profile, he's as good, if not better. If you want to look at age, there's not that much difference in the ages, because Kel'el Ware was 20 like a month ago. I know he played 2 years in college, but he was 20 a month ago. So he's still really, really young. As well as that, with Kel'el Ware, he shot 40% from 3 last year. Like, I know it's not the craziest shooting percentage, but he shot 58% from the field. His touch is better than Alex Sarr's. He is, like, as far as just polish of a basketball player, he is a better, more polished basketball player right now than Alex Sarr. He's equally as athletic as Alex Sarr. I know, obviously, the numbers that Alex Sarr put up was in a much tougher league than NCAA, and he was doing it in limited minutes. But, like, Kel'el Ware put up, like, 17 and 10 on 60-40 splits. I get it, not the best free throw shooter, like, in and around 70%. But, like, 60-40 splits. He's going to be a better shooter off the get-go than Alex Sarr. And the big knock on him is, does he want it enough? What is his motor like? And it's like, does that really matter? So you have to look at how he got on in Oregon, because he was a 5-star recruit. This guy was the number 7 ranked recruit 2 years ago. So you got to look at how he was in Oregon versus how he was in Indiana. Like, all the questions about his effort. If you have an issue with effort, you are not making the improvement that he made between his freshman and sophomore year. You are not making that improvement. And we've seen it before with so many players being like, oh, they have this problem, that problem. It's the reason why the Warriors didn't pick Anthony Edwards. These guys are 18, 19 years old. Like, he was 18 years old until after his freshman year. So, like, we can't judge a player, like, not necessarily, we can't not even make judgment. We can't say something about a player when they're 18. They've proven that it's not right, and stick with what we said about them when they were 18. Because he obviously wasn't good his first year in college. He was in a bad situation, but they're 18. Like, how an 18-year-old deals with being put in a bad situation doesn't define them as a player or as a person. Because the reason why Kel'el Ware is being drafted so low is actually nothing to do with his basketball ability. It has zero to do with his basketball ability. It is to do with the motor. But, like, the only sign that you can have of a player that, not even necessarily about the motor issue, but, like, when a player is willing to improve, is that they improve. And he improved. He has improved. He's improved big time. And then, like, for me, I think Alex Sarr is fool's gold. I think he's fool's gold. I think people have tricked themselves on him. Alex Sarr was, after that game against the Ignite, the friendly, people had him set as number 1. And then as the year went on, I was seeing Alex Sarr being mocked at 4 or 5. And then all of a sudden, it was just the players that they had at number 1, like Cody Williams, Dillingham, and like Reed Shepherd, all stunk it up in the tournament, and they started dropping. And then Alex Sarr, despite not doing anything, somehow started shooting up the boards again to number 1, purely because people like the idea of Alex Sarr more than they like Alex Sarr the player. I don't think he's bad, but I've been calling him fool's gold. Like, I said it in my mock draft that I don't think Kel'el Ware is going to be any worse than him. Like, I'm seeing it on Twitter. There are multiple NBA execs that believe Kel'el Ware is a better prospect than Alex Sarr. If I'm Atlanta, I'm trading down. If you are dead set on Alex Sarr, trade down and get somebody. If I'm Atlanta, I'm trading down anyway. Like, if you want a draft pick, I'm trading down. I'm trying to fool the San Antonio Spurs. I'm going to trick the San Antonio Spurs into taking Zachary Reese-Shea. I'm like, we're going to take him. We're going to take him. He's not going to be there for you. And try to get some of your picks back. Because a third string center is not going to help the Atlanta Hawks. I'm going to be honest. It's not going to help the Atlanta Hawks. And I'm going to go in more detail about this later on. But a third string center in this draft at like 10, who eventually is going to come in, is not a bad option. It's really not a bad option. Like, if you're Memphis and Donovan Kling is not on the board, and first of all, I think Kel'el Ware is better than Donovan Kling. I would take Kel'el Ware over Donovan Kling any day. But like, if you are Memphis and you're dead set in a big and Donovan Kling is not on the board, you have to take Kel'el Ware. You actually just do. Like, if you take Kyle Filipowski at 9, you are crazy. You are absolutely crazy. Like, Kel'el Ware is going to be good. He's likely going to be good. Because, one, he's shown he can improve. He's shown he can make improvements. He was that guy in high school. Like, you're not the number 7 ranked player for a reason. You're not expected to be a top 10 pick in 2023. Like, he was meant to be a top 10 pick in a good draft, by the way. Like, 2023 was a good draft, and he was meant to have been a top 10 pick. Obviously, his freshman year didn't go well, but his sophomore year went incredibly well. And now he's in a terrible draft somehow in the 20s? No, like, teams, again, can't overthink this. You can't overthink based on your opinion of Kel'el Ware a year ago. Whatever your opinion that was a year ago. And, like, you can't even, again, say, oh, they had a bad freshman year in college, they're going to suck. Derek Lively sucked at Duke. Derek Lively legitimately sucked at Duke. One of the best picks in the NBA draft. In fact, maybe the most important thing the Dallas Mavericks have ever done was drafting Derek Lively. Like, you can't, again, judge how an 18-year-old plays in its entirety. And especially you can't judge the character of an 18-year-old. We've seen teams screw up by judging Anthony Edwards' character. And I know he still went number 1. But the fact that, like, the Warriors weren't going to take him, a bunch of teams were trying to get, like, the Minnesota Timberwolves were trying to shop the pick, but people didn't believe in Anthony Edwards. You could only believe in what you're shown. Like, regardless of Anthony Edwards, whether he said he loved basketball or anything, he worked his ass off in every game. Regardless of whether or not you think Kel'el Ware has a motor issue, he improved so much between his freshman and sophomore year that maybe it's just he doesn't put any, like, he doesn't look like he's putting in effort, but you don't get 10 rebounds, 2 blocks a game on, like, 60-40 shooting splits and improve in significant amount year on year if you don't work hard. Maybe he doesn't have the most visible motor, but you don't make that improvement if you don't work hard. So I think, again, a team is going to get a steal with this guy. Do I think he's going to be better than Alex Sarr? Maybe. But again, I might be the lowest on Alex Sarr of anyone. And, like, I don't think Alex Sarr is a bad pick, by the way. I think if Alex Sarr is in a normal draft and is in the 8 to 12 range, he's not a bad pick at 8 to 12. Just like Reed Sheppard. This is what Reed Sheppard reminds me of. You know, the guy in the draft that goes 37th and performs like the 15th pick, and everyone's like, oh man, these guys got a steal. I can't believe he fell to the second round. But he's like a solid player. That's what Reed Sheppard is. And he's being talked about number 1. Either way, though, Kel'el Ware, I genuinely think a team's going to get a steal for him. Trust me on that one. He's going to be really good.